Let's talk about an enemy you know really, really well. It's that quiet, nagging voice in your head. The one that always tells you to play it safe, to aim a little lower, maybe to just give up.
You know the one I'm talking about, right? It's that little whisper that pops up right when you're about to take a risk. It says, "Are you sure about this? It's so comfortable right here. Why rock the boat?" Well, today we're going to drag that voice out of the shadows. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to figure out exactly what it wants from you.
All right, first things first. We need a proper introduction to this inner opponent, because this isn't just, a little bit of self-doubt. In the world of the apocryphal gay science, this is a very specific and very powerful force.
And here it is. Its name is the spirit of gravity. Now, this has nothing to do with physics. It's all about a psychological, spiritual weight. The source material paints this as the main thing that makes life feel like a total chore, like a heavy backpack you can never, ever take off. It's the voice that champions resignation over aspiration every single time. The philosopher prophet Zarathustra doesn't see this as just a bad mood that comes and goes. No, he calls it his #1 enemy. And just listen to the language here. Demon, adversary. This frames it not as some personal weakness, but as a real battle against a pretty formidable opponent.
To make this enemy even more real, Zarathustra gives it a face. I want you to picture this. A squat, gargoyle-like dwarf just sitting on your shoulder. And it's not yelling at you, it's whispering. It's whispering these cynical little truths that are perfectly designed to clip your wings before you even think about flowing. It's a brilliant way to show how the biggest obstacles we face are so often the ones we carry inside us.
Okay, so we've put a face to the name. Now let's get into its tactics. How does this dwarf actually convince us to stay on the ground? Well, it turns out it has a very specific and very limited vocabulary. A dwarf's whole game plan revolves around these few powerful ideas. Its absolute favorite word? Futility. Its go-to emotion to push on you? Resignation. It seduces us with these promises of comfort and safety, which, if you follow them, always lead to a life of quiet mediocrity. So every time your inner voice starts arguing for one of these things, you can be sure you're hearing the whisper of the dwarf. And here is its core argument. It sounds so reasonable, doesn't it? Hey, just be realistic. You're only human after all. All this striving for more, it's just pride. The only sensible thing to do is to find a comfortable spot and stay there. It's a logic that flatters our exhaustion and gives us the perfect excuse to just give up. This is exactly how the spirit of gravity gets you. It makes the path of least resistance sound like profound wisdom. Flying is hard. Dancing takes effort. It involves risk. But crawling, sitting, that's safe. That's easy. The dwarf just asks, why in the world would you ever choose the harder path?
Now check this out. This is a really fascinating twist from the source material. Even the classic hero's journey, the whole idea of going on an adventure and then returning home safely, is seen as a trap. But why? Because its ultimate goal is coming back to the comfort and safety of the herd. The dwarf absolutely loves a story where you end up right back where you started, only now you're too scared to ever leave again.
So if we keep listening to these whispers, where are they taking us? This isn't just about playing it safe. The spirit of gravity has a final destination in mind for you, and it's a philosophical endpoint that is, well, it's truly chilling.
In this Dantesque parody from the source, the lowest level of hell isn't some fiery pit for evildoers. No, it's the nihilist's void. It's a state called the Great Indifference. And in this worldview, the greatest failure of the human spirit isn't doing something wrong, it's doing nothing at all. It's choosing comfort and apathy over actually engaging with life.
Just think about that phrase for a second. The slow poison of universal contentment. The real danger isn't some big, sudden catastrophe. It's the gradual, comfortable slide into meaninglessness, a state where you just don't care enough to even try anymore. That, according to this philosophy, is the true void. Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it's a heavy one. But the philosophy doesn't just leave us there, hanging. It also gives us the weapons we need for the fight. So how do we combat this internal, gravity-wielding dwarf? The contrast here is just night and day. The dwarf tells you to stay weighted down, stay on the ground. But Zarathustra defines freedom in a completely different way. It's not about having no chains or no burdens. It's about having the will to dance despite them. It's an active, defiant choice. And the main tools for this defiance are, surprisingly, very simple: laughter and dance. Now, these aren't just frivolous things to do. In this context, they are profound philosophical weapons against heaviness, against seriousness, and against resignation.
What a powerful image, right? The spirit of gravity thrives when things are solemn, when we take our burdens with this ultimate crushing seriousness. Laughter is the perfect antidote. It's a lightning flash that just instantly shatters that solemn spell. It shows that you can rise above the weight, even if it's just for a moment.
So what happens when you get good at using these tools? When you consistently choose to dance with your chains and laugh in the face of your burdens, you start to achieve an entirely new way of being.
The final exam, if you will, is a thought experiment called the eternal recurrence. Imagine you had to live your life, your exact life, with every single joy and every single pain over and over again forever. The spirit of gravity would absolutely crumble at that thought. But victory? Victory is being able to look at that possibility and affirm it with a laugh. To genuinely say, yes, bring it on. Again.
And this is the great transformation. Life stops being something that just happens to you, a dull burden you have to lug around. Instead, it becomes an expression of your own will. It becomes a creative act. The weight might not disappear, but your relationship to it is changed completely.
This state has a name: lightness. It's the defining characteristic of the Übermensch, or the overman. This is the individual who has become a dancer, who has truly mastered their inner dwarf, and by doing so has achieved this incredible state of creative freedom and power over their own life.
So as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Think about the spirit of gravity in your own life. That little dwarf on your shoulder whispering about futility and comfort. What is one heavy, solemn burden you're carrying right now that you could, just for a moment, meet with a defiant laugh?